Hi, everybody. It's Adele Frizzell coming to you from Canada today. I'm currently on vacation and I'm here with Coach Tiffany. And today
Coming from Tennessee, not on vacation.
Today we are talking about body recomposition, and this is part 4 of a 6-part series. Today's topic is micronutrients. So what are micronutrients? They're like, basically they're nutrients. If you've heard of macros, you've heard of macronutrients. Micronutrients are things like vitamins, minerals, and polyphenols, and they are health enhancing and life-giving compounds. They're generally highest in minimally processed foods. So as you can probably guess, deficiencies can occur in some people when they don't eat a balanced diet of nutrient-dense foods. Today, they can also occur for a lot of other reasons, okay? So nutrient deficiencies make your workouts harder. They can mean you take longer to recover. They can also lead to a weakened immune system, hormonal imbalances, fatigue, and weak bones. So if you think you're safe from nutrient deficiencies, to be honest, even if you eat well, there's a good chance you're wrong. The fact is most people are deficient in some vitamin or mineral. And so we're going to talk about who is at risk the most of vitamin deficiency, food groups you would probably want to add to your diet when you're doing a body recomposition, which is losing fat and building muscle, and our top advice for getting all of your macronutrient or micronutrients in. And I hope you'll join us in today's discussion. If you have any questions you want to comment, we will be monitoring the comment section today, and we can answer any questions now in this Facebook Live or later if you happen to be watching this Facebook Live, which is recorded, and you can comment below, and we will do our best to answer any questions you have there.
Yep, I just popped a comment in there. So if you are on here and just want to say hi, hop in, say hi. We'd love to acknowledge that you're on the call with us.
Wonderful. Okay, I hope everyone had a Merry Christmas if you celebrate. We are just a couple days from the new year, and I hope 2023 is really good to you. All right, let's talk about micronutrients. Again, if you're just joining us, these are nutrients like vitamins, minerals, and polyphenols. They're health enhancing and life-giving compounds, and they're generally found highest. They exist in higher amounts in minimally processed foods. So as you can guess, deficiencies can occur when people don't eat a balanced diet or of nutrient-dense foods. They eat the standard American diet. Do you want to talk a little bit about the standard American diet or the SAD diet, Tiffany?
Man, you stole my thunder. I was about to say, you mean the SAD diet? Whenever you stop and look at it, standard American diet, SAD, SAD diet. And it works really well because this diet is characterized by high intakes of things like prepackaged foods, refined, yes, grains, red meat instead of lean meat. So a lot of red meat heavy diets, processed meats, so your deli meats, things like that. High sugar drinks, so our sodas. If you live in the South, sweet tea is huge. Candy, sweets, fried foods. And then also we do a lot of conventionally raised animal products, butter, and then high fat dairy products. And the problem is that there's also a lot of things in the standard American diet that has a lot of trans fat in it as well. So you have to be mindful of those things. But some other things that are high fat, things that are very common in our diet: eggs, potatoes, corn, high fructose corn syrup, low intakes of fruits, vegetables, and whole grains. And then we also tend to have a low intake of pasture raised animal products. Fish, nuts, and seeds needs. Try to combine nuts and seeds there. But so basically, long story short, we tend to eat highly processed foods a lot more then we eat the nutritionally dense foods that you are going to find in your fruits, your vegetables, your whole grains, and stuff like that. And what that basically looks like is if you're driving down the interstate and you see all these signs for fast food, it's very, very prevalent in the Western diet. So those things are not always super healthy for you, simply because while there's a lot of calories in it, there's not necessarily a lot of micronutrients in it.
Exactly. So it's not, the SAD diet is not the healthiest diet in the world. One of the healthiest diets is the Mediterranean diet. That said, I just want to be clear, when it comes to losing weight, you could totally eat a gas station food diet and lose weight. You're just not going to be all that healthy. And so when it comes to recomping, when it comes to your vitality, your energy, your workouts, your recovery, you do want to care about what makes up those calories, what the food sources are. So we're going to chat a little bit about that. Now, generally, what can happen with deficiencies is the type of diet you eat can create nutrient deficiencies. Also, sometimes it's genetic. Sometimes people can't produce enough of a vitamin in their body. For example, vitamin D. A lot of people struggle with vitamin D. Sometimes it's also where you live. So if you don't get a lot of sunlight, you might have trouble with vitamin D. There are different types of vitamins too that some people cannot absorb properly due to poor digestion, irritable bowel syndrome, things like that. The deficiencies can also occur when you can't absorb essential vitamins and minerals through food. So this is, I guess, what I just touched on: poor digestion and genetic factors. And these nutrient deficiencies can lead to many health problems, including a weakened immune system, hormonal imbalances, weak bones, and fatigue. And of course, when you have fatigue, those nutrient deficiencies are going to make it harder to work out. Your recovery is going to take longer, and your recomping goals, like losing fat and gaining muscle, are going to be much more difficult. So what does this look like? As an example, zinc. It's a mineral that helps your body to produce muscle building testosterone. It promotes recovery. It helps your T cells fight infection in your body. You get zinc from red meat, eggs, cheese, and pumpkin seeds. Are you consuming these on a weekly basis? The fact is, most people are deficient in some vitamin or mineral, and vegetarians and vegans seem to be at the highest risk of several deficiencies, as well as children, young women, and the elderly. As an example, I was a vegetarian for 7 years. I had real trouble with my immune system. I was quite young. I was from between the ages of 15 and 22. I ate no red meat, no fish. I did have dairy and eggs. I really struggled with my immune system. I got shingles, which is an older person's disease. I was chronically sick with infections. So I do believe it was because I had a lot of nutrient deficiencies. I was also anemic. So if you are vegetarian or vegan, I think you need to be really informed about how to make sure you're taking care of any nutritional gaps in your diet. Vegetarians can eat quite healthily, and they can get all of their protein needs and their nutrient needs as long as they're very mindful. There are some top nutrient deficiencies, and I'm going to name 7 of them. Okay, the most common ones are iron, iodine, vitamin D, vitamin B12, calcium, vitamin A, and magnesium. And if you like, I can give you a link so you can read more about these common nutrient deficiencies and how to address them. So just ask in the comments if you would like that link, and I'm happy to pop it in there. Is there
Well, and I
anything?
think that,
Okay. Go
yeah,
ahead.
I was going to say, I think that it's kind of funny because people might think, well, iodine, well, I eat salt on everything. Doesn't that mean my iodine should be okay? Well, the problem is that a lot of the table salt that you find out there actually does not have iodine in it anymore, unless you get salt that specifically states that it has the iodine in it. So that's, one way that you can kind of think about things. And it's like Adele was saying is, you can be vegan and you can be vegetarian and still live life without these nutritional deficiencies. You just have to be very, very mindful of them. Adele, do you want to kind of talk about how one would find out about specific deficiencies that they may have?
I guess you could do it a number of ways. You can get some blood testing, but a lot of blood testing you're going to have to pay extra for. Genetic testing might tell you where you might be prone to deficiencies. For example, my genetic testing showed vitamin D, and that's absolutely true. Anytime I get my vitamin D checked, it's low, and I supplement. Unfortunately, by the time you start getting symptoms, you're already deficient, and some of those symptoms can look like fatigue is such a general thing that it could be just about anything, not just a nutritional deficiency. It could be just your stress levels, your own sleep hygiene, your general diet. Even if you're dieting or training hard, you can be fatigued, or you can have an underlying health issue. But blood work is one. Another thing that you could do, and I recommend it, and our clients will do in the Transformer program, is they track their food in MyFitnessPal, and there they can see over the course of a week, because you don't just look at day to day, right? Some days you're going to have more vegetables, some days you won't. But over the course of a week, look at how your different vitamins are landing, because it will tell you how much vitamin C you're getting. Are you meeting the recommended daily intake? It will track some of the major vitamins. So that's good information to have. I did that and I learned, I'm kind of on the low side for vitamin A, and some of this is seasonal. Like I have a garden in the summer, I eat lots of vegetables. In the winter, not as much. So you might also want to consider supplementing just during certain seasons. I would start there. You kind of really want to be mindful of how you're eating, and we're going to talk about how to eat in a moment. Let's talk about polyphenols. You might already be taking a supplement with polyphenols. They are powerful health enhancing compounds. They are best consumed through foods such as berries. So ask yourself, do you eat berries regularly? Cacao. Do you have cacao? Green tea, apples, beans, nuts, raw nuts, vegetables. Those are all great sources of polyphenols. Now, there's some risks associated with supplements containing polyphenols, and I will link to that in the comment section below. It is possible to supplement with too many supplements. Because it's such an unregulated market, some of those supplements are also not that pure. And so we always recommend people go to labdoor.com and check on the rating of your supplement. Some supplements include heavy metals. Some supplements include other things not listed in the label. Some do not actually meet the standards that the ingredients that they may say it has, for example, so much protein, so much blah, 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 and it doesn't. And this is true of vitamins. So I would recommend checking out your supplements on labdoor.com. And certainly there are people who are spending hundreds and hundreds of dollars on supplements, and they really don't need to. They might need a few, but not as many as they're taking. I think really focusing on what's on your plate should be the priority, and then filling in the gaps with supplements later. Question for you. How do you get all your micronutrients in? To be honest, you're not going to get them all in on a daily basis. But when you're looking at over a week or a month, hopefully you're eating a variety of foods and you're filling in the gaps that way. Variety is the spice of life, right? Each food offers something different, nutritionally speaking. For example, teff is a grain. It is high in calcium, Barley, another grain, has more soluble fiber. Even nuts and seeds provide different minerals. Some seeds are higher in selenium, like Brazil nuts, and selenium is really important for people with hypothyroidism. Some are higher in zinc. Different color fruits and vegetables also provide different vitamins, which is why we tell clients to eat the rainbow. When you are looking at your plate, aim for 2 different kinds of vegetables in 2 different colors as a minimum. We also recommend that you target foods such as dairy, chicken, fish, fruits, nuts, vegetables, whole grains, legumes, and organ meats, if you'll eat them, are very high in a lot of health enhancing compounds. These should make up about 80% of your diet. The other 20% could include more processed foods and fun foods that make you smile. So why do we, like, people, when they work with us, they're often shocked by the fact that we encourage them to go eat a cookie if they've been denying themselves cookies for a long time, or enjoy a Snickers bar or a donut. Why do you think we do this? Why do you think we encourage people to make sure that they have some sort of a treat almost on a daily basis, that they work in fun foods into their diet? If you have an idea, comment below.
Yeah, I think it's funny that you mentioned that. I actually encourage a lot of my clients that whenever they're tracking their foods first thing in the morning, I want them to program in a treat, especially if they know that they tend to want to snack in the evenings on certain things. Program that in advance, save those macros for it. And I think that there's just a lot of benefits to that. So I'm gonna look in the comments and see if anybody has responded to that. So Gail was asking about sea salt, and I cannot tell you definitively if sea salt generally has iodine in it, but again, if it says that things were added to it, then you're typically good to go.
Yeah. So in regards to, does sea salt have iodine? There's usually some trace amounts in sea salt that you can easily attain from other foods. It generally contains less iodine than table salt. So just a heads up, but there is some iodine in it. Okay, so let's talk about fun foods, right? They're important because this is just a part of life. Having treats, having dessert, having things like that. When you deny yourself something, you just want it. It has more power over you. So having a little bit of treats in moderation, more processed foods, I think is just more realistic. It's more sustainable, and it prevents people from binging. You probably guessed by now that natural whole foods, less packaged and processed foods, generally contain more micronutrients, which are important for good health. They're also really important for hunger management. Whole foods like grains, fruits, and vegetables are lower in calories, and they contain fiber, which is filling, which can help you with, managing your hunger. We always say that if you're losing weight, you have to accept that being hungry part of the time is natural. Similarly, managing your weight over the long term means you should expect hunger to ebb and flow. That's right. If you are never hungry, you are probably overeating and gaining weight. So how do you keep the hungry monsters at bay? By eating more minimally processed whole foods. When you look at your plate, half your plate should be in fruits and vegetables. I could talk about fiber for a really long time, but basically, to summarize it, fiber keeps you feeling fuller for longer. It's really important for your digestive health, your gut biome, and cholesterol. Foods high in fiber include things like legumes, nuts, seeds, and cereal grains. So don't be afraid of whole grains. They're actually really beneficial to your health. And when we talk about having 20% of what you eat be fun foods, again, it's a healthy, sustainable, moderate approach, which is really what we teach our clients when it comes to managing your weight long term. If you like to go out on the weekend and have a glass of wine or a dessert, enjoy. Do you like having chocolate every day? There's no reason why you can't have a little bit of chocolate. If you restrict yourself too much, you'll probably go crazy, or you're going to end up face down in a pint of ice cream one night. Giving yourself permission to enjoy some treats now and then will make your diet, your lifestyle more sustainable and enjoyable over the long haul. And don't forget, we are talking about body recomposition in this series. And body recomposition takes time, and you're playing the long game now. So relax and make the journey as enjoyable as possible. I hope you found this talk on micronutrients helpful. Let us know if you have any questions at all. If you would like to work one-on-one with a coach to lose some fat and build some muscle through customized diet and training, definitely check out our New You program. The website is thenewuprogram.com. Prices go up January 1st on one-to-one coaching, but we would love to coach you in the new year. Next week, we're going to be talking about tracking, and we touched on it at the beginning of this Facebook Live, but we're going to talk about tracking, how to track, the importance of tracking. You don't have to track forever, but boy, is it ever a great educational tool. I think that's it for today. How about you, Tiffany?
Yeah, I think that's it.
All right, everybody. Happy New Year. Happy New Year, Tiffany. Take care.
Happy New Year, guys.
We'll see you next
Bye.
week. Bye-bye.